Hello devs, welcome again to this project or in the series. Today we're going to discuss on how to build the React version of a UI that you're supposed to be building. That was on top of the file manager we were building initially. So today we're going to be building the UI for that. So to start off, I'll just head over to my desktop. Then I just need to create a folder known as file manager UI, let's say React. Okay, then we can code inside us and then we go there. So that will just launch up the project folder. So from here we'll just need to, I'll be using Vite for bundling everything. So to create the project, I'll just get into that folder, then I'm using pnpm, so you can just write pnpm create Vite, then you press enter. This will create a project. I'll just put a period to select the current folder, then package name will be that, then I'll just go with React, then Typescript swc. So then it will scaffold this for me. So as you can see, they just red all over. You may wonder why is it showing this red. So this one is due to this extension known as what is it, the error thing, it's called error lens. So this will just tell you almost everything that's missing in your code, so that you can easily know what's wrong. So I'll just run npm install. So that should install all the dependencies in our package.json. But what will we be needing? We'll need a simple, we need some icons, and so as we wait for that to install, meanwhile I'll just create my folder structure here. We have components, we'll have our router, and we'll also have our let's have for now let's just have that. So everything is up and running. You can just test. So this won't launch. I'll come back to the package.json, then update here. So I'll just add dev o to have it as change port 3000 -- open. So this open will open it in the browser, then this one will run on port 3000. So if we close and run dev again, you'll see we've changed port to 3000. So a new terminal session, we'll need to install axios, React router DOM, we'll need to install headless UI. Okay. So from here we'll also need okay, let's just start with that. Then we'll install headless UI. From there now we'll set up Tailwind. So we need to install autoprefixer, post CSS, and Tailwind CSS. So as that starts up, we want to be using this app. So inside here we'll have a route provider, then it requires router. So we just delete that, remove the app and app.css. Once those are out of the way, we'll create index.tsx, then import create browser router, then route object. So const router will be create browser router, then we'll pass our routes in there, then we export default router. So we can have our routes is equals to that, will say satisfies route object. So then from here, if we try to define something, we will be able to see all these properties. So instead of as here, we can just use satisfies. So then we just pass our routes in there, and everything should be okay. From there now we come to our main.tsx. We pass our routes, not router, okay, it's router, not okay, sorry for that. So with that, everything is set up. We can test our route. We can just say path element. We can just write here h1 hello world. So just by having this, hope this one is running. We should okay. So okay, so we'll go with this. You can see we have hello world here. Yeah, so that's it, and we've just set up our project. If I come back and change this to exclamation and save, you'll see we have it here. If I add, let's say, about section, about, say about, we come to navigate here to about, we should be able to see about. So that's done. What next do we need to do? Set up Tailwind. We'll just need to create Tailwind config using this. So this command will create a post CSS and Tailwind config, of which in the Tailwind config we'll need to add our content here. HTML, we have view, we don't have view that much, but we can simplify this to one line to just represent in this format: HTML, JSX, TSX, TS. I don't know whether we don't try to view in here, so it don't make sense to have it here. So we also need Tailwind CSS forms. So we'll have to pass it as a plugin. This is for forms. Then in our config, Tailwind config, we'll just need to pass it. Where's the Tailwind? Okay, we just pass it there. Okay, so I don't know whether it's still running. So we should have this inspect. So there's nothing here, so we need to add Tailwind in our index.css. We need to remove everything from here, then add the Tailwind directives, these ones. So when you get these squigglies, just open your console, then look for unknown. So then unknown art rules, just ignore for CSS, and you'll see we have this one as clean. So next, I think everything is just set up and should be ready to roll. Let's just restart this. So restart, you just press R and it will reload, and you can see Tailwind is already loaded and this has become smaller. So we can just zoom in and see. So first of all, we need a way to showcase because it will be something like drive, and my way of thinking is to have we'll have a sample. Just a minute. So we'll have a small sidebar here and the main section on this other side. So from there we'll be able to show our folders here. We'll have a top bar and sidebar section. So let's just build it out. So how I like setting up things, I'll just have layout. So in here we'll have our base layout. So I don't have that extension installed, so for you to have React snippets you'll need to install React, these React Redux snippets, and also for Tailwind you need to install Tailwind, this one, Tailwind IntelliSense. So once that is in place, I will just ship the code RFC. Okay, I don't like this, RFC. So export it like that. Then we'll just define props. Props will be children, which will be React node. Then we'll just pass in here with the structure children from props. Then we want to make it responsive, so forgive me for that, but we'll just have a simple grid. So it will be a grid of left column and right column, and grid calls, which will be, let's say, I will take 240, let's say something like 60 to 40 px, and the rest. Okay, so let's just confirm from Tailwind. So I'll take this. Okay, supposed to be grid, not Greek. Yeah. So we'll have our main section here, then we pass our children there. Primarily we'll have our, let's have our header here. Header will be on top there. Then we have our main section. So where we'll have our children. So on the side we'll just have our sidebar, and we'll have, let's say, another 240 px. Then we'll pad it to MDP4 LGP 10 V10. Okay, so this one is minimized by an extension known as Tailwind inline fold. So on the sidebar, let's create a sidebar. RFC. Okay, we'll have that. Then we'll have our aside bar. So sidebar will have like class name h will be screen with 80. Let's have it at 80. Border right, so that we just have a padding of 2. Yeah, let's have it like that. This React import isn't necessary here. So in the base layout, we'll have our sidebar. Then we'll have our aside. We can come to our router and wrap everything. Or we can just have our base component. So for this base component, what we'll pass here will be our base layout. So basically we'll need to pass in children props here. So children are just basically other components passed to a given component. So it doesn't matter how, whichever type they are, but children is how they're supposed to be called. React node. Okay, this one. Close, then we can have our children. So for these, let's just pass our layout. In the layout, we can just pass out like. Okay. So for these, I don't need these children props. So we'll just see in a bit. In the router, we can pass our base. Okay. We'll just use base layout to wrap our. So we'll have our pages, views or pages, home page. So from there we can just pass our home page, or for the sake of this, I will use this base component to as an element, then we'll pass children prop. We'll have children here. So in the children section is now where we'll be having path will be just that empty, then element will be our home page, so we just need to remove what we don't need. Coming back to here, so you'll see we don't have anything. If we go back to, let's go back to home, then you'll see now we have our sidebar and side. So let's just so the reason why this base component is working, so I've just created a wrapper where the children is, now let me just install prettier. So what happens here is that the base component will give us an outlet for rendering our other pages. So if I go here, I'm rendering an outlet. That means whatever page fragments I'll be rendering will be passed through the base layout as children, and by that I don't need to be wrapping any other component in this route section. Let me just use prettier to format this. Yeah, it looks better. So it doesn't look that okay, and let's refine it, the layout. So reason being, we'll have our sidebar here and the main content here. So another way we can do a split of this is to use we can use flexbox. Flex, okay, just need to use one flex grow. Okay, once we flex, then this one will be flex. Okay, class name to be flex. I'll just take 0_0_1. So this will be flex, grow, shrink, and flex basis. So so this should be supplied to, should be supplied here. So these are generic, and what I'll need to pass here, because I want this main to expand, let's say 8, should take 8 of the total. Then on the sidebar, I'll make it have let's say it will have width of flex of 4, then a side should also have of 4, say 4 4, yeah. So you can just have border left, border left L gray. Then you can see we already have this border. So just make it 200 to be lighter. We can write a padding of, let's say, 2. Okay, that's px of 4 to give it a little bit of more space. Overall, in the layout, we can have a main div, a wrapper div, which will contain a flex column, then we'll have like, so here I'll have a header, so it's not there yet. Header, let's create a simple header. So then we can just have our header here, then we can give the header a max width, say width of 7xl mx outer. So this is to center it. Okay, so you won't notice it until I zoom out. So here we can have a border B, then you can just have a shadow. Or even a better way is to have one which spans the whole width, then we have an inner one, so this one will span the whole screen, and let's say it will be sticky top 0. You can have some small padding of 4. Then you can see now we have it sticking up here, but you can see if we try scrolling, it will have overlap. So then we can just give it a bg of white and z index of, let's say, 9999, so that everything else when scrolled goes below it. So coming here, we'll just will flex. So we'll be having, let's say, two sections left, search and profile. So we'll have title here, search section, and small profile section on the right. Just have a simple div. So then from here we'll have our so-called link from React Router DOM. Just link it, which will lead to just home, and we'll just make it let's say file drive, span drive. So I almost forgot, we need to install Font Awesome. So while that loads, let's just check here. We'll see we have file drive already here. If I zoom out, you'll realize this part doesn't go beyond. So we can do the same with our base layout here. You can just give it mx auto max width 7xl. So that way we'll have everything within the bounds of here. So on the sidebar, let's have border right. Yep. So I'll just make this span 2. This should be 3. Then we make the main section okay, 3 main 9. Then this one should be 2. Okay, so that should make it 12, and we can just zoom in. So you can see it's starting to take shape, and let's add the header section. Let's add Font Awesome. So all we need to do is to just copy this. These are pro, but we are going with free versions. So let's okay, we'll go with this. npm install these, copy, copy, paste that. Yep. So once that is done, okay, we have okay, we need brand icons. So install those. Back to our header, we'll just import okay, that's Vue, and here's the React way of doing things. So we can just test. So coming back here, we can have a simple, let's say, font awesome icon, then icon fa search, fa search. Coming back here, yeah, you can see it there. So with this, we'll have justify between, then profile section also have another div. Now we'll make 3. Then for this, we can just make it flex 1, so it will try to span as much as possible. We can add now gap property of, let's say, 8 for now, so that will give it space here, space here. So on the search part, we'll just add a small border with a padding, so we can have a max width of that. Yeah, p of 2, just make it 1 and rounded. We'll have an input type search, placeholder will be search. Yep, we'll need to disable some stuff here. Class name, focus ring 0, focus border none, then focus outline none. So that will make sure when you're in the search box, nothing is highlighted. So then you can just flex these two, gap of 1 of 2, then item center. Yep, so they are center aligned let's try to write something. So we can just, in the input section, we can just make it flex 1 so that it can extend the whole box. Yeah. So once that is done, F drive, I wanted to add something here. So text green, skip green, that font bold, uppercase. Yep, so not that much fancy, but at least you get a glimpse of it. So we'll be having sections here, and let's say on the right side we can have our profile, simple image, let's copy this image src, img, not src, should be that. So back here it will affect that, and let's say class name, width of 10, height of 10, then object fit, object cover, rounded full. Yep, you can see that's there. So actually we are done with this part. So what we'll be having, on the sidebar here, let's say we want a way to, we'll just list things. So the sidebar, so I need auto Okay, it's there. I don't know why it's not auto importing, but we'll just have here a simple UL and links dot map link to return an li, which will in turn have a link to should be link dot. So you can just destructure these icon label and link. So just need a link, then a label, then should have a font awesome icon, should be icon. So fa folder, so fa, okay. So we'll go with that. So from here we can just have a class of flex of cow, gap of 2. Then it's now here flex to items, center, gap of 2, and text md. So once set up the icons, we can just have a hover state, hover, underline, and pg neutral. So okay, that's too much. So width fit, that should do it. Should have a padding of around 4. So let's pad this to rounded MB. Okay, so we can have a full width now that, yep. So let's say we have something like folders, cloud, effect, cloud. This should be on hover state. Okay, which all these ought to have been in here. Let's have it in there and push this inside. Okay, then now from here we'll have the link as a span here. Then the padding px, let's pad x2. Yep, so we don't need to pad this. Yep, so that's, we'll have that as that. Then now in the home page section is now where we'll be having our folders. So in the home section, let's have a simple folder. Here we'll be using grids, so I'll just try to ship some. So we'll have a simple class and let's say folder home folder card. So in our home page we'll have a simple grid calls so I will have calls which will be repeat. Okay, grid calls repeat. Okay, so we supply number of times it's supposed to be fitted and these marks, min max of, I will have a minimum of, let's say, a card of 300 pixel to 1 fr. So if it's not that, it should expand. So repeat auto fit. So okay, if you hover and you see something of this kind, that means it's okay. So we'll just have our grid. It's called home folder cut. So let's say array dot from, let's say, length of 20 dot map f will return that. So key here, key will be f. Okay, let's see. Yep, you'll see we have these. Okay. So adjust it to 200 and you'll see we'll have that there. Then we'll just have a full width, full. So for the card, what we'll be having, okay. So for the card, what we'll be having will just be a simple div with details, the metadata. So up here we'll have folder, import font awesome icon from React font awesome icon. I don't know why this is not working. So we'll have that plus, let's say, a simple p here with new folder. So it should be rounded, and over we should have a small shadow. So that won't be quite evident. I think we gave a very large size. Let's take it down to 150 pixel. Then we can just have our padding of 4. 2, let's have 2 and gap of 2. So the folders will be spaced out. So okay, we have our folder there. So we need to set up a way. Class name width should be full. H of let's say 10. So let's say that's how our folders will be like. We can just adjust this. We can have a link to, for now it will just be headed nowhere. Let's just say open. So we'll down this text base. Okay, let's make them smaller. Let's say 10 pixel. Yep, let's just make them very small. To 12, I guess that will not be so bad. Yep. Yep, so we already have our folders set up. Next, what we need to do is to just, let's have don't be looking so much like Google Drive, but at least it looks something close to. Then text blue 600. Okay, looks something better. So we will add a quick action. In the header, we'll just have a quick action div. Let's say create button, say create folder. So this will be flex items center gap 2. Then I guess what we need to add here is to, let's say new is shorter, and okay, yep, that should work. Class name of px of 2, then pg of blue, light blue, rounded text white. It doesn't make sense where it is, but it will be very handy. Py of, let's say 1. Yep. So yep, we already have this set up. So next is to open a single folder. So let's say we need to go to a single folder. So then now we'll go to our routes, then we can just specify here path to folder, is folder, then folder ID. Element will be our single folder element. So then now we can just add here in our card, we can just add a prop. Prop will be, let's say, ID string prop, then we pass the ID here. So then this will lead to folder plus ID. So if we come here, you'll see we are brought to single folder. Then in the single folder we can have import use navigate, const navigate, should be use navigate. So we can just have here a small div which says a button, font awesome, so then we can import fa chevron or from font solid icons, fa arrow back. Not sure which icons I installed. Let me check. F solid. So okay, so let's go with font awesome. Icon will be fa arrow, should be left. Can just say here back. So coming back here, if we click, and then this should give us on click, then we can just navigate -1. So we'll subtract 1. That should take us back to where we were from. So yep, that's how it is. So once we sent everything, you can just give this a padding of 2 so that we have some little space, so we can move in and out of a given folder. So then on the extreme right, okay, so in here is when I will be having our files. So class will have a grid calls, should be repeat. Let's say we'll have a minimum of 10 rem, min max of say 10 rem and 1 fr. So we'll repeat auto fit, then we'll say masonry. I don't know whether it's there, not seeing it. Same way we'll be able to generate a card. So single folder file card. Okay, RFC. This one will also have its way. So in here we'll have props, which will give us the file info type. We'll ever add image, audio, or we'll have video. Then say name, string, and we'll have ID of string or number. Then URL. So all this will be passed via props. So we'll just check type, div, another div. So depending on the type, we'll just type is equals to audio with image, will return an image img of src, which will be our URL. Then class name will be that and all that, and type is equals to video. Then we'll say we return a video src, which will be our URL. We have a class name for that. Otherwise, audio type will be audio. We can just present audio. src will be our URL, and class name will be that. Then we close. Otherwise, we just say a plain div with small information. Let's say p unknown. So here we'll have a default alt, which will be the name. So we have that. So what we'll have here will be a width of full, h will be, let's say, 3/4, overflow will be hidden, rounded, and some border. So let's go in, then go to our single folder, and what we can have here is just a simple map array. Okay, guess here will be a little bit different. So as you can see, we have a non-file format. So let's say we have a name, file 1, so from name we have id of 2 or 1, type will be image, then we'll have a URL which will be from here. Name string, name id, so you can see we already have a card here. So for this card we can just have a maximum width, so then we can just have a width full width, So I'll just have contain for some reasons. Then down here we'll have a small div where we'll have a pair name. So we'll have just say 60 something, say 60. Let's go with cover. Yep. So you can see we already have something here. In the single folder, just add a gap of 2 and some padding. So what we'll add on top here is a way to upload. So we'll have a way to upload to a single, let's say upload file. So upload file, this will be an upload component where we'll be able to put our files and load them. So in the single folder we'll just have flex justify between item center. That means we'll have another button, a link like a button pointing to folder ID upload. So it will say upload. Okay, so it's there. Have a class name of say we'll have a nice phantasm icon. FA icon will be FA upload. So that is there. Text white, PG blue, lighter, flex gap 2 items center px to rounded nd. Yep, so when you click here, it should take you to const folder id should be used use params use path. Okay, use params. Okay, so this should be a string. We can test to see whether it's working. Folder ID. So then undefined. So just check React router DOM path params. So where's the so what do we have here? Folder ID. Then we can now have our path to folder. Then I will have our element, which should be file upload. Upload file. Yep. So once that is in place, okay, it was undefined, that's why. For the whole page, we need an ID. Okay, so go back 16. Yep, now it's working. So we have that. So here also we need a way to go back. Single folder, though we won't need. So just import almost everything. Only what we need. So we can navigate back. Let's go forward, upload into that folder. Yep. So I guess this just does it, and we'll just now need to set up how we are going to upload this file. On the upload page, what we'll need is just a simple form. So just if everything center, and hopefully we should have something. So okay, min h will be 50 VH. So on these we'll have a label for file, or just call it image. We'll have a simple div class name border, PO4, so we'll just have that. Can over h of so border of, So we'll add that icon there. It will justify center item center. So currently it's not functional. Border spacing, sure whether that will work. So border just black. We will have a pretty large icon. Size will be 2x, and cursor pointer. So that should sum up all these. So when one clicks here, should just bring in if and an input, ref, then the name, the file ID will be file or just image. For now we're just doing images. Okay, label for image. Okay, so we can have a simple ref here. Image file input ref will be react dot ref use ref so html input element or null, we should be set to null initially, then we pass here that ref. So the input should be hidden, but if we click here, yeah. Not sure why this isn't happening. So Okay, anyway, so we need to make this type file for it to work. So yeah, accept. So here we can just add main types. Okay, so that part is done. And for this we can just comment it out, const handle file upload async function. So we'll take in an event, which will be a react.form event, which it will be HTML form element. Then we just need to handle the form data here. So this is a function. Okay, event dot prevent default. So then come back to our upload, on submit upload. How do you call it? Handle file upload. So just below this we can have our div, then on the input ref just have it as that. Then here we can just say button to submit. So say upload file. So then we can just flex call sp2 border my2. So pg of blue, say rounded, text white. So it will happen once we click on this, we'll select a file, say from pictures, select that, then click on upload. So okay, so I guess for this we're just done, and let's now integrate with the backend we had built earlier, so that we have things up and running here. So in the next part, let's see how to connect this.